radio, when you leave your house, your mind gets to be channeled to a particular direction. So to a point where we seek white approval. So in the absence of white approval, we think that which we are doing is not correct. So we ought to liberate the brain of an African child so that they know that they can coexist and be at an equal level with their white counterpart, and that the system is not meant to serve white people. I mean, we're so colonized to a point that we've accepted it and internalized it. I don't understand, why would people go and stay in Alexander, come and work in Sandton, see all these beautiful things, and still go back to Alexander and do nothing about it? That they don't stand up and say, no, but this can't be. They are psychologically colonized to accept nonsensical arrangement they found and inherited from those who came before us. So that's why we've got this problem. That it shouldn't be Julius. It shouldn't be President Mandela. It must be the people themselves who say, but why do we go work there as domestic workers, as security guards, as shopkeepers, and then accept to come back to this type of conditions that we're subjected to? So we now have to re-educate them. They must learn to unlearn to accept unacceptable things, that we can live the same life they live in town because the power is in our hands, where we just stand up and say, this is no longer acceptable.
But that means that the leadership of this country stands for, or is the caretaker of, white privilege.
They are administrators. They are completely, they don't know what they are doing. They didn't come in with an intention to do anything. I mean, we gave a lot during the negotiations. If you look at the negotiations, the only thing we came back with was the date of voting on the 27th of April 1994, because you didn't come back with the land. You didn't come back with the ownership of the economy. You didn't come back with the ownership of defense. The ANC, with its eyes and mind open in 1994.
Hold that thought for me. Let me go pay some bills. We'll come back and talk.
Listen up. Ain't gonna stop.
The hottest new music station.
Now let's go.
Metro FM.
Yo.
It's where you want to be.
Hi, me again. If you know what this ridiculously short 30-second ad is for, you'll probably know what I hate most about it. Yes, it's the legal line. Pineapple AFSP 48650 is underwritten by Old Mutual Insurer or licensed FSP and non-life insurer. T's and C's apply. I mean, who cares? Have you ever heard anyone say, wow, did you hear that pineapple ad? Go to pineapple.co.za for 100% insurance, 0% other stuff with all those super interesting, invaluable T's and C's. Well, I haven't. I've also never heard a complete ad where we...
Get ice cold summer savings from Checkers Liquor Shop. Like 750ml Gordon's Gin for just R154.99. Save 35 Rand. Valid until 5 November in store. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
People are always asking me, bruh,
how do you create these big summer parties, bro?
Easy. Get Telkom Flex on 4. Call everyone on your phone.
Hello?
Hey, it's me. We met 3 years ago. Hey, sir. Flex your data on WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, and a Nyana dance for TikTok. Hey.
Join the best value network and show up big. Get Telkom Flex on 4 SIM only with 4 gigs anytime data, 750 on-net minutes, and more for 169 Rand per month. Call 10213, click telkom.co.za, or go to any Telkom shop. T's and C's apply.
Can we just talk?
Metro FM Talk with Faith Mangope. Monday to Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
23 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday evening, we're still in conversation with the Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters. Julius Malema joins us in the studio. If you would like to engage with him, simply give us a call, drop us a voice note. This is a conversation that is curated for you. 2024 is around the corner. Know your leaders. Know your leaders so that you know exactly who you're going to put in power for the next 5 years in this country. I'm going to let you finish your trail of thought, because you were speaking about what we left at CODESA on the negotiating table. And in fact, it's actually within the cardinal pillars of the EFF about economic justice. Yes. So you're basically alluding to economic justice being left on the negotiating table. Did they have a lot of room to negotiate, or was it just about who was negotiating at that time?
Well, I think they were in a hurry to become something leadership because they only came with the date of elections, and that was it. But when we went there, we had all types of demands. Why would you say liberation took place in 1994, 27 April, but the oppressor did not lose anything, and the oppressed did not gain anything. There is nothing to show from 1994 to where we are now, except that we've got some constitution which guarantees us some freedom of speech, and then we speak the way we like, and we think that's what we've been fighting for. That has never been at the center of the foundation of the revolution. At the center of the foundation of the revolution was the land question. So the leadership went in there, negotiated, and Cyril Ramaphosa made this point one day in one of the NECs of the Youth League. He says to us, comrades, when we were negotiating there, already people were being offered shares in companies. A lot of them were beginning to receive shares of Vodacom. Vodacom was now coming into South Africa. Cell phones were going to be introduced. As people were negotiating freedom, people were negotiating the deals on the sideline of the negotiations.
Which people?
The leadership of the ANC.
All of them?
All of them. All of them. I mean, do you know that when the ANC came back into the country, and this is found in the biography of Trevor Manuel, when they arrived, first National Executive Committee of the ANC took place at Velgerlegen Farm, which is owned by Johan Rupert. They landed. Trevor said, Velgerlegen, let's go. They got into the cars, went into the farm. They actually realized later that they were driven into a meeting, first National Executive Committee of the ANC, into a farm of Johan Rupert. So when you talk capture, when you talk people who are negotiating, those are the people who are holding meetings at the farm of our oppressors.
You speak about capture. There's this notion of 9 wasted years in South Africa, right? Everybody keeps talking about the 9 wasted years. We've got the Zondo Commission. We've got the outcomes and the reports that get handed to President Cyril Ramaphosa. We are yet to realize actual people in orange overalls as a result of that. However, is the country still captured, in your opinion? And who is capturing South Africa currently?
Well, there's no 9 wasted years. It's 30 wasted years. The ANC, since it came in, it was useless and wasted our time. Because South Africa is owned by the Oppenheimers. They inherited it from Cecil John Rhodes. Our country's existence and its reliability is on mining complex. The discovery of diamond, the discovery of gold, and they've not only owned South Africa, they own Southern Africa. So Zimbabwe, he even named after himself, he called it Rhodesia, and everywhere else. So those are the people who own and control South Africa. They make a decision as to who goes, who stays.
Do they control the ANC?
Come again?
Do they control the ANC
they
currently?
Do. They don't control it, they own it.
For the past 30 years?
They owned it when it landed. It landed in a farm of Johan Rupert.
But then that also means that you were a president of a youth league that was owned by the Ruperts. That means that you were part of it because you were the ANC youth league president.
That's why I was fighting inside.
Yeah.
I was not enjoying the soup. You can go into the youth league and check my history. I've never been to Rupert's house. I've never been to the latest capture, the Indians' houses. I've never been. I've always maintained a radical posture. If there is any house where I spend most of my time was in Soweto in Orlando at Winnie Mandela's house. I've never been part of a crew that got captured by white monopoly capital. I've got no relationship, none whatsoever, with white capital.
But then if you differentiated or you differed in political ideologies, but also in who gets to benefit from what, why didn't you leave earlier? Why didn't you, when you found out about how captured the ANC was, or when you found out about who owned the ANC, right? You started political consciousness, from the age of 9 or so, right? With working Basupatsela.
Yes.
That's when you started your political ideologies. So you've been inculcated with politics from a very young age, which means that you were able to stand on your own. When you found out that Johan Rupert owns the ANC, why didn't you leave?
No, why must I leave? I didn't leave the ANC, by the way.
I know.
Yeah, they expelled me. I was not going to leave. Only cowards leave. I fight from within. And I fight confronting the enemy directly, not in the corners. I fight from where it's supposed to be fought. I was not going to. From that 9 years, go and look at my track record in COSAS, where I stopped Johannesburg, the whole of Johannesburg, demanding free education. I was very young, at the age of 16, 17, stopping Johannesburg from Limpopo, not having a single relative to stay with, because I always believed that education is not a commodity. It can't be sold the same way they sell bread and butter. At that age, I was fighting from within. I went into the leadership of the Youth League, introduced radical proposals on the land, on the economy, on accountable leadership, that corruption is at the center of what is destroying. There's little that we've gained from 1994. So I don't live, even in a personal relationship. I've got no history of living. So I don't live. I stay and fight from there, from the center, from where it matters the most.
Let's talk a little bit about governance. You don't leave relationships. So anybody that has been within the is saying, yes, he does not leave. Look, I want us to look a little bit when it comes to the relationship currently, because local government is where the EFF is getting its training for what it looks like perhaps at a national level, maybe perhaps even more dangerous terrain simply because of the contingencies and the contestations that are happening within local government level. But the ANC right now says that they want to divorce from the EFF when it comes to local government and politics, particularly coalitions. What do you think is at the heart of this breakdown of relationship? Is it because the ANC is saying you're corrupt, the EFF is saying, nope, the ANC is very corrupt? What is at the heart of the breakup between the ANC and the EFF in coalition governance?
You know, some things are so shocking. You just wake up in the morning and divorce people you never married to. We're never married to the ANC. We don't have any relationship with the ANC. We participate in the government of Ekurhuleni because we're invited by the mayor to do so. We're not invited by the ANC. He extended the invitation to the ANC as well. Remember, when we got invited, the ANC refused to send its own people for swearing in. And we said to the mayor, if they don't want to come, we've got people, we can take everything. So we have no relationship with the ANC, and we have no anti-nuptial contract or with accrual or without accrual, nothing of that sort, where you'll be able to say, in reference, this is what you agreed on. Why do you want to run away from what you agreed on? We have no relationship with the ANC. We are not corrupt. You know, tell me of a single, we're now almost a year in government. We have no single councillor in the MMC position who has ever been accused of corruption. Never. Because we don't play in the EFF when it comes to corruption. In the ANC, and I agree with them entirely, I would have done the same. They say this EFF is eroding our base because of the way they are working. Their MMCs are hard at work, and they make the work of the ANC irrelevant amongst communities. That's why it's important to remove them, because they are an immediate threat of the ANC. Why? We share constituencies, and constituencies see them for what they are doing. I mean, a ward councillor stays in a ward where there is a sewer blockage. An MMC of the EFF goes to the ward of that councillor of the ANC to go and to unblock the sewer. The councillor of the ANC stops the MMC from unblocking the sewer. Or no, I love the sewer, leave the sewer to spill into people's houses. Why would you do that? What kind of level of madness is that? Where a councillor stops a municipality from doing service delivery. That's what we're fighting with the ANC about. They are not happy with the service delivery work that is being done by the EFF in Joburg, in Ekurhuleni, in Mogale City, in Nelson Mandela, in eThekwini. They know you give them work, they will do it. One white woman, I saw, Viana was showing me on TikTok, one white woman saying, I will never vote for EFF. And then they said to her, why? Are everything they say they will do it. I know they will do it. That's why I can't vote for them. So she knows when the EFF says we'll take the land, we'll take it. When we say there will not be a single illegal dumping area in the municipality of the EFF, we'll do it. We are almost at 99% of cleaning Ekurhuleni. Simple things that took 30 years. We're doing it in less than a year, just to stay and live in a clean city, to clean after ourselves as a demonstration of self-love. We're being hated for that. Why are people not asking the ANC, if you say the EFF is corrupt, what did they do? Where have you opened a case against the EFF for its corruption? There's no such a thing. Because the EFF is making them irrelevant. So the best MMCs, look at the finances of Ekurhuleni, all in order under the EFF MMC of finance. Look at the track record of service delivery. And I'm happy, I mean, in a year's time, before elections, other researchers would have done a study and they will see that they are actually not bluffing. They are hard at work.
So the EFF stands by the notion that you keep the members of the EFF accountable?
Yes.
You keep those that are in government accountable?
Absolutely.
I saw it demonstrated even to much of the noise when it came to the EFF's 10th birthday celebration. There were certain councils that did not deliver, for example, on buses to bring people into the stadium and the agreements that they had made.
Yes.
On the other side, on the issue of accountability, let's talk a little bit about accountability on behalf of the Deputy President of the EFF. Right? So you've got the Joint Committee on Ethics and Members' Interest that found that Floyd Shivambu, your DP, breached item 10.1.1 of the Code of Ethical Conduct and Disclosure of Members' Interests for the National Assembly and Permanent National Council. Of course, the member of the House had an imposition of a penalty reduction of 9 days' worth of salary, and that, of course, was related to the 180,000 that was paid to him in 2017 by Skameka Pty Limited. Right. There was a penalty because wrong was done. How then, if you are keeping your councils accountable, if you're keeping local government accountable, how then do you keep your DP accountable? Because this is clearly something was done wrong. How do you keep the same accountability and impose the same accountability to your Deputy President, Floyd Shivambu, as you would keep to anybody who's a member of the EFF?
Yes. That thing you're talking about is us keeping him accountable, because I'm a member of that committee which found Floyd guilty and said, we're taking your 9 days salary. What more must I do? I've held him accountable. But he says, hold on, you are wrong. This is not donation, it's a loan. And no ethics code demand of us to disclose loans. That's why we've got so many loans. If they were saying we must declare loans, so we don't disclose loans. He says it's a loan. He's got an affidavit, a signed affidavit from the police station, which he gave to SARS, and SARS accepted, by the way, which he gave to the committee. After the committee, by the way, Floyd was found guilty by the committee in absentia without being given an opportunity to present his side of the story. I had to fight inside there that he must be called, and only to realize they were communicating with him with a wrong email. Despite not giving him an opportunity to present his side of the story, they still proceeded to find him guilty. I'm a member of the committee. I must accept that this is a decision of the committee. But I'm happy the Deputy President is taking this matter on review. He says, I'm not going to allow this. It's not a donation, it's a loan. I've heard some fools saying, but the company without a finance certificate as a financial service provider can't give you a loan. Well, yeah, the loan. We borrow each other, and we don't even call them loan. We're calling them loans because of these things. But rea tushana shem. Rea tushana. So siblings help each other. So Floyd says, my brother gave me a loan and I'm going to pay for it. SARS accepted this explanation. Why not? So that's where we are. But all I'm saying is, this is EFF in the ethics committee holding a deputy president accountable. It's not the EFF that is going to court to challenge that decision. It's the individual who feel offended and aggrieved by that decision. And it is well within his right to go to court. I'm happy you didn't say VBS, because nowhere did Parliament say it took the money of VBS. There's no VBS anyway, which is proven that the noise that was made around VBS was actually man-made and concocted to want to drive a certain narrative to discredit the EFF. That has not been found in the in Floyd's case. It's him and his brother exchanging monies and then saying they owe each other. That's where we are.
Well, I'm not on a witch hunt, so the good thing is that you're speaking to a journalist that reads.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about, and I would like policy clarification here. Because the EFF, before I open the lines, the EFF has been greatly criticized for this particular cornerstone, which you have to clear up. And this is the issue around a borderless continent, right? Yeah. So borders in itself, right? The historical context of borders was colonial. Borders were formulated so that white people can divide which particular states belong to them. We understand that. Capitalism, cheap labor, apartheid, colonialism has led to an unequal society within the African continent. So we accept that. We take away the notion of borders and we say, you know what, all Africans are the same. The problem, because of the existence of the inequalities entrenched within colonial rule within the African continent, says that those who are less or more marginalized will go to the countries that have got more. South Africa stands as one of those countries, maybe alongside Rwanda, right? So they will come, you will have an influx of illegal foreign nationals coming here for better economic opportunities, as they would. The fear among South Africans is that the little that we already have as South Africans, now we have to lose it to illegal foreign nationals that come into this country because the EFF has said we are all Africans, so open up the borders. So how does political ideology find its expression within the reality of the lived experience of the South African? Because the South African will say to Julius, I hear you, but I can't afford to be giving an illegal foreign national a foot in my country when I'm already struggling. Hold that thought. Let me go pay some bills. We'll come back and answer it.
The hottest new music station, Metro FM. It's where you want to be.
Join us at the Pick and Pay Wine and Food Festival on 4th and 5th November at Wanderers Club in Johannesburg. You'll have the chance to sample and purchase wines from over 50 top estates. Treat yourself to a selection of mouth-watering food and great local live entertainment. To find out more, visit pnpwineandfoodfestival.co.za. Tickets available at Web Tickets. Brought to you by Pick and Pay. Drink responsibly. Alcohol not for sale to persons under 18.
We get delayed. And then when
we've been drinking, I'm ordering a ride. It's only 180 rand.
Yeah, so?
Or do you want to spend the weekend in jail? Yeah?
No.
Or end up in an emergency room but live with one leg? Do you know the price of tombstones, Joe? Is that what you want your mother to go through?
Those are actually facts, my friend.
Exactly.
Getting behind the wheel after drinking has more consequences than you think. That's why, as SAB, we're asking you to make the wise choice. Have none for the road and be sharp.
Let's move from Mzansi. Woza nawe. Get your Mercedes-Benz Sprinter Nkanyezi with a tailored finance plan, which includes a fixed interest rate to help you navigate economic turbulences. The Nkanyezi offers enough space to carry more passengers and comfort for an enjoyable journey. Together, let's move your business forward. This offer is exclusive to Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. T's and C's apply. Visit a participating commercial dealership or search Sprinter offers online today. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Can we just talk?
Metro FM Talk with Faith Mangope. Monday to Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
All right, we're still in conversation with the CIC. Julius Malema in the studio with us. We're talking everything, governance, politics, and the like. So, open borders. Yeah. South Africans are afraid that we're going to have an influx of illegal foreign nationals into this country, and there will be nowhere for South Africans to go.
It's an imaginary thing. Do you know that there is no fence in Lesotho? Yet the Lesotho people are not here. Actually, Kgalema is the one who used to tell us this in the youth league, that but Lesotho ba ajwa fro ba no bi halagamu elisubela ba wela mrao. It's imaginary. It's the colonizers dividing us and making us to hate each other for no reason. They will never come. Faith, Gauteng is more richer than Limpopo. The Limpopo people are poor. It's the poorest province. Baka bona batho ba Limpopo. They are there. If that logic works, it doesn't have to start with a Nigerian who has to take so many flights to arrive here. If the poor are going to come, if there are no borders, and go where there are more opportunities, why batho ba Limpopo ba sa abandona Limpopo ba tla mo ka hore there's too many opportunities here? It's not true. No one will ever leave their home for that reason. But secondly, it's not the EFF that has always made Africans to come together. This city you are sitting in, it was built by the sweat and the hard work of all Africans. Mozambicans, Malawians, all of them. This mine that I told you that the anchor of the South African economy is mining complex. These mines that are supporting our economy have always been mined by Africans without the EFF being formed. That's why the language Fanaka law was developed, because Africans have always been together. Le khaufi tlori Malema ke ena tlenga Fanaka law. Ke ikreile namu, ke ikreile Fanaka law, which is a clear demonstration that Africans have always been together. There's never been a point where Africans have never been together. Let's gate, our fence. Unoba gate fela mo Lesotho mo Swaziland mo Mozambique mo. There's no fence. Our people are already interacting, as it were, without any influx of any people coming to take from the poor of the poor.
Our South Africans are already feeling marginalized and disenfranchised. And that's why there's this notion, and I truly don't believe South Africans are xenophobic.
Yes.
I feel like the issue and the notion of xenophobia is a very simplistic view of the issues of South Africa. South Africans are unemployed, Julius.
Yes.
That's a fact. South Africans don't have economic power. That's a fact. The very same illegal, undocumented foreign nationals are being used as truck drivers, as waiters and waitresses, and they're used as cheap labor because the employer gets away with murder. It disenfranchises the South African who is also looking for that job. I'm not saying every South African is going to want to be a truck driver, but it's certainly taking away the opportunity from that South African that wants to be that truck driver. So then how then do we start reconciling it? Because at the heart of it, it's economic issues, and we can't run away from that. So where do you reconcile and say, yeah, there are too many illegal foreign nationals here that are being used by capital as a form of cheap labor?
Well, it's imaginary. There's no such a thing that there are illegal foreigners who are waiters and waitresses. It's unscientific. It's not proven. It's not true. Secondly, these people that we are saying are taking our jobs and economic opportunities, Faith, let's line up the buses now and put them into the buses and let them go. Will still be poor. Actually, more poorer without them, especially you, the black elite, because it is you who have hired these people into your houses. So it's not true that when they leave, you'll get jobs. They do not own these people that you're talking about. They do not own the means of production. They don't own the land. They don't own the banks. They don't own the financial sector. They don't own monopoly industries, which is what should create jobs, not what you're talking about. Na ke tlo le motho wa Zimbabwe re lwela ba le security. But me and a Zimbabwean must fight over being a security guard. Why should we fight over that? Why are you not saying let's all mobilize each other? And I never said South Africans are xenophobic in all of my articulation. I'm saying this thing is imaginary because South Africans coexist with these people. They don't have a problem. But let me make the last point. Yeah, in Alexander, Dudula goes and remove those foreigners, all of them who are selling tomatoes in some open space there. They remove them completely successfully. They go. Not a single South African went to occupy that space where they were selling. As a result, Alexander people started complaining. South Africans didn't go and sell at that land. And it's just that, we say these things here, now. They don't record them so that during your spare time, they must say, Faith, you like reading, you like researching, you like being exposed to these things. Now, Dudula has moved people here. This is what they were doing. Let's make an observation and see what's going to happen in a week's time. If indeed these people have taken anything from South Africans, let's go and see what will happen in a week's time. Nothing will happen. If anything, those people are going to come back, they are going to be received, and our people are going to buy from those people. The nonsense I don't agree with is this thing of selling expired food. The EFF and all community leaders, it is in their hands to confront people who are selling expired food in the township, in the villages, and even in town. Because it's not only those people in the spaza shops who sell expired food. Even shops like Spa sell expired food. So the story should not be about cheap people that we undermine and we can always speak bad about them and to them. It must also be the struggle must be taken to the powers that be. That in South Africa, ShopRite, Checkers, whoever you are, you're not going to sell expired food because we're going to confront you if you do that.
Let's take a few calls. In fact, I've got many voice notes. I've got a few calls. I want to open up the lines. Maybe let me start off with a few voice notes. Dumelo, do you have got a voice notes? Okay, let's take calls. He says I must take calls. Let me start off with Kwamhlanga with Dixon. Dixon, hi.
Hi, Faith.
Hi, Dixon. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, now I'm so disturbed and I'm so disappointed by my brother in the studio. You know that security guard that is talking about those competing with an illegal foreigner is supporting his children with that money for being a security guard. You understand? And one other thing, I'm a victim myself of these illegal foreigners who are employed in our country. You remember I called you some weeks ago when the minister was there saying that my company is employing 95% illegal foreigners.
Yes, I remember. And I even gave Minister Adam Mutsualedi your contact details so that he can sort this issue out.
You know what's the problem?
Yes, sir.
People are saying these foreigners are hard workers more than us. They find us here, we teach them the job. You know what they do? They do extra activities. When these white people ask them to go to their houses to clean after their dogs, they go there. So now that you cannot go to their houses to clean after their dogs, they say now you are a bad person because foreigners agree to that. They agree to being exploited. So I even tried to phone the regional office of the EFF. I think it's Philip Makwala or something like that. That guy never even came back to me. You know what I'm trying to say? We are not xenophobic in South Africans.
And it's the employer that is doing this, Dixon, time and time again. Dixon, I've noted your point. I'm going to take one more call, sir, but I thank you very much. I've noted your point because you have phoned in to express this very same concern. It's a big concern. Let me go to Keith in Sandton before I take a break. Hi, Keith.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good, and you? Go ahead.
Good. Right now, I wanted to just, one of our presidents, the pillar that we don't negotiate on is obviously the expropriation of land rights. So I just wanted to check the CIC's view on 1930 for the native land as rights. I think we were allowed like 3%. And then it changed in 1936 to a native trust. And we were given something like, I think, 13%. And we are in 2023, I think we probably own less than 50% of land, right? Our comrades,
Keith, you know what? I'm going to give you an opportunity to say your point again. I'm struggling to hear you. So I'm going to give Tumelo a chance to phone you back. But let me go to Mukopane with Tabang. Tabang, hi.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
I just think he's saying to, I'm as young as I am, I'm 21 years old. So I want to ask you on how, what plan does he have for the education system? Because the current one that we have doesn't work for us.
I hear you, Tabang. Let me take a break.
I am the guy who grew up hungry for more than just food.
I'm the one who saw the chance to cook up a better life.
And we started serving Kasi food out of a pub in Shawelo.
Then 2020 hit.
Yazin, but we didn't go down. We built something new. I am Eugene Mabasa.
And Promise Yeka.
We are co-owners of Carrot Gang Food. I'm grinding.
I am growing. I am still.
Amstel, not for persons under the age of 18. Enjoy responsibly.
At Zero, we know there's nothing small about small business. It's starting from scratch. It's the hustle. It's the 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9. We don't think of you as small. We think of you as self-made. Zero, accounting software for self-made business.
Soccer fans, it's time to score the ultimate goal with Hollywood Bets. With a max payout of up to 30 million rand and over 100 soccer markets to bet on. Play online now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Listen up. Ain't gonna stop. The hottest new music station.
Now let's go.
Metro FM. Yo. It's where you want to be. Step into spring with style as we deliver nothing but the latest and freshest in urban music. Stay tuned to Metro FM for a season full of musical surprises. Metro FM. It's where you want to be.
Can we just talk?
Metro FM Talk with Faith Mangope. Monday to Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
All right, it's 53 minutes to go before the top. 53 minutes past 7, I should say. Not 53 minutes to go before the top of the hour. It's about 7 minutes to go before the top of the hour. I still see more of your calls. I'm going to take them as soon as Tumelo lines them up. But I've got Dixon here, and Dixon's issue is very pertinent because he says that the company that he works for, 95% of them the company has hired 95% of illegal foreign nationals because the bosses view them as less problematic, in inverted commas. How does one even reconcile that? Or where does justice come in? And how do they impose justice in an existential phenomena that happens of this nature?
Well, it's not a big problem. We can go there tomorrow and remove those foreign illegal foreigners. There is a law in South Africa on how those issues get to be dealt with. And I'm happy you said to Dixon, it's not those foreigners the problem. The problem is the employer who employ undocumented foreigners. If he's really doing that, he's committing crime. There are laws in this country that governs that. And I'm actually sorry that I disappointed Dixon by saying I'm not going to fight for jobs of security guard. I want bigger than that. I don't want Dixon to be a security guard. I want him to own the farm. I want him to own the industries. I want him to be an industrialist. And that's where my struggle is. My struggle is not to perpetuate slavery of black people. And if that disappoints Dixon, it's his own problem. I'm not going to retreat from that. I'm fighting for a bigger thing. And that bigger thing is black people owning the economy of South Africa. And that's my focus. And so basically, but I can tell you now, if there is an illegal foreigners who are being hired without following the due process, tomorrow, this Philip Makwala is talking about can go there and solve that problem tomorrow. He doesn't even have to have a problem of calling radios. We can solve it in less than no time. And we're not going to talk to those illegal foreigners. We're going to tell the bosses, you're going to stop this nonsense, and it's going to stop with immediate effect. I can tell you that. But I deal with that every day, but it's not core of my program. My program is to take the banks from the hands of the minority into the hands of the majority so that we can have a say in the banking sector of South Africa.
Gebetsu in Johannesburg South. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thanks to you, Mama. Go ahead.
Good, thanks. I just wanted to find out, Julius Malema did not answer you when you asked about ANC saying they're divorcing. I understand his choice of words, but are you going to remain in coalition with the ANC, yes or no? I think that's a simple answer.
We're not in a coalition with the ANC. Therefore, the question yes or no doesn't exist. We're not in coalition with the ANC. If we know what a coalition is, then you will know we're not in a coalition with the ANC.
All right. May you explain what the arrangement in the city of Johannesburg
I did. I said the mayor of Johannesburg invited us, and then we responded to the invitation by the mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me take Keith in Santons. Keith, hi. Oh, Keith is gone. Okay, we'll keep on. Listen, I just want to say that my lines are flooding. So if they get blocked, it just means that so many people are trying to engage. Bear with us. Have a little bit of patience with us because we have to get into some of these issues. But I want to talk a little bit. You're speaking about the economy. So let's talk a little bit about the economy, right? I saw that as of June 2023, you had national government that had accumulated 4.3 trillion rand in total domestic debt. Right? That means that I think the finance minister, Enoch Kotokwana, was saying that I think for every 1 rand or so, 18 cents or so is actually gone to service debt. Right? This, if you win 2024 and you become the president of the country, you are inheriting a debt of 4.3 trillion rand. How do you solve this issue around debt accumulation in the country? Because we keep borrowing from the World Bank, we keep borrowing from IMF. Debt comes with terms and conditions that apply. How do you resolve?
Well, the first is to refuse to recognize apartheid debt. Our problem started when we accepted the apartheid debt, that people were borrowing money to kill us. And then we take government and say that money which was borrowed to kill us will pay for that money. We ought to have from the beginning said we're not going to pay for an apartheid debt. And we will not recognize this debt of the ANC, of World Bank and IMF, which is given to us even when they can see that we've got a crisis of affordability. They keep on giving it to us because they want to control us. They want to control the politics. They want to control the policy. They want to give the economic direction of this country through debt. And the EFF's position is very clear. We do not recognize debt of the IMF and the World Bank. They need to be confronted and they need to be told, you build a problem for us from when you impose the apartheid debt on a democratic government. That debt was meant to kill us. Why should we reward people by paying the money that was borrowed to kill us?
Let's talk a little bit also about 2024.
Yes.
Voter apathy is a reality in this country. It's been dwindling since 1994, in fact. The median age, which is very ironic in South Africa, is about 28 years of age. Those are the people that are actually citizens. In the majority, 61 or so % of them are 28 years of age in this country in terms of being youth. Now, they're not voting. They're not voting because they don't trust you politicians. They don't voting because they don't trust that you will deliver on your promises. So why is it that a young person who's 24 years old listening to this conversation, why must they vote for you? Why must they make you president of the republic?
Well, I'm happy that you raised that point because the youth don't see politics working for them. So the first thing you do is to make sure that politics work for the youth. And once they see the politics working for them, they will come in their numbers. Look at what we did at the institutions of higher learning. When we took over the SRCs, we said the budget which is spent on Freshers Born festivals must be cut by 70%. That 70% must go and feed the needy students at the universities. They used to spend millions at universities doing bashes with the SRC money. We cut that and we give the poor lunch and supper from the money that was supposed to organize festivals. What happened? The youth then realized that in the institutions of higher learning, that this thing is working for us. As a result, there is a mood all over universities of educated people, not illiterate, educated people who say we want to make an educated vote, and that vote is for the EFF because we can see that the politics are working for us in the institutions of higher learning. Let's make the politics to work for our people. What will you do? I'll give them the land. I will give them access to education free of charge. I will beneficiate the minerals of South Africa and industrialize the economy of South Africa so that we are not an economy of consumers, we are an economy of people who produce. Manufacturing ought to be revived in South Africa if we are to create sustainable jobs. I will end load shedding in less than no time because load shedding is man-made. When there is World Cup, there is no load shedding. When children write matric exam, there is a load shedding. Have you ever seen such madness in life where we must switch on the lights to see rugby and then switch off the lights when the children are writing an exam? What type of this load shedding are we dealing with? It has got eyes and ears. It knows that Kolisi is about to pick up the ball. It doesn't go. When Kolisi finishes, then it goes. It goes with the World Cup. It's man-made. It's created to empower Cyril's
Who made
people. Cyril and the
Cyril
ANC.
Ramaphosa made load shedding.
Yes.
How?
Because they want to empower the IPPs. They don't maintain the coal power stations. They close coal power stations because the biggest problem at the center of what we're dealing with here is the maintenance of our power stations. That's why they tell you Unit 1 has collapsed, Unit 3 has collapsed. There is nothing magical that Brian Molefe did and Marcelo Gogo did. All they did was to make sure they maintain our own power stations. They close this one. They know if we close this one for 2 days, it will be up. Before you know it, we'll go to the next one. There's generally no maintenance and corruption is eaten away that ESCOM. What do? They then say, no, let's load shed so that we create a crisis. When we introduce independent power producers, our people are going to say, yo, maybe there is a solution here. Let's go with independent power producers. Who is independent power producers? It's Remgro. Who owns Remgro? It's Johan Rupert. You're now going to be given electricity by Johan Rupert. I mean, this crisis faith. I mean, let's go to Prasa. Look, there is no long distance trains from November last year until today. The people of Limpopo used to occupy that train full to capacity. Eastern Cape, full to capacity. They rent locomotives, put them there, and then do not give them to people. And then they say, we spend 600 million. These locomotives only gave us 10 million. Then we all say, no, it means it's a waste of money. That's why we can't spend 600 million only to get 10 million. No, They didn't use the locomotives. They hired with 600 million, put them there, and create an imaginary crisis so that when they come and say, let's outsource this thing to our friends, people should say, hi, no, maybe we'll get trains because we've not been getting trains. All of this is a fact. Under the President Ramaphosa, who said he's going to be corrupt-free, he's going to be transparent, he's going to do lifestyle audit on ministers, he's going to crack the whip on corruption. This government has become the most corrupt government that switches off lights for children who are writing matric exams.
Let me take Kaya in Tonga. Hi, Kaya.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Very well, thanks, and you, sir. Go ahead.
Good. So, Mr. Malema, quick question, sir. How are you planning to take over the economy that has been built on systems that oppresses the majority of our people? Is it not better that you build economy that will accommodate everybody instead of taking the one that already exists? Because all the systems that are in place right now are putting us where we are, which I'm not going to go into detail on that. Second question, you led a campaign of going and checking all the restaurants who are employing foreign nationals. And you said that South Africans must be employed in those restaurants. But today you're saying that no, that's not the case, or the foreign nationals are not taking South Africans' jobs. I'm a bit confused on that.
No, I just said to you, I can go there tomorrow in a company where they say they are illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, to confront the employer, not the employees. They don't employ themselves. I'm saying, instead of fighting these ordinary people who come into this country looking for greener pastures, get exploited by the employer who violate our laws, those are the people I can confront even tomorrow. If Dixon was to say to me, Mr. Malema, here's the address, this is where these people are, I will wake up and go there to confront the employer, not employees. I'm not going to have black on black violence with my own brothers and sisters. But the white establishment, which makes us fight, is the one that needs to be confronted.
Mr. Julius Malema, much appreciated for your time this evening. Thank you so much for this. I hope it's not the last time that we see you in the studio.
No, this is home.
On that note, of course, we've got President Cyril Ramaphosa that has given the nation an address. To holiday or not to holiday? I know that we've got lots in store for us. Maybe let's go there live. Are we ready to take him live? Not yet. Okay, so let's take a quick break. We come back. Let's take President Cyril Ramaphosa live as he addresses the nation.
Listen up. Ain't gonna stop. The hottest new music station.